Okay, I want to comment that that girl up in Donohue. Donohue was the name of the coal mining town that my Italian grandfather worked in. It's like there's no town at all. The Donohue I knew was like a. If you've seen the movie Coal Miner's Daughter,
Good thing he wasn't still working for him, son. You'd be laying there outside him.
where Loretta Lynn lived in that house with her parents, her father, the coal miner, and her mother, the Native American descendant mother. They live in like a coal mine company provided house. Okay, well, that area where those houses were, that was what Donohue was like. Donohue was dilapidated houses that were still there from when the mines were working in Avella. Now, by the time I was alive, those mines had long closed down. So there wasn't any mining being done there at all. But the houses were still there. And they were just like in a little wooded area like you see in Coal Miner's Daughter. And that was Donohue. It was maybe 6 or 10 houses. That was it. That was Donohue. You call it a small town? Well, there weren't any businesses there at all. It was just old, dilapidated houses. So I go there one day. At that time, I spent like a week with Nunno. And we're there in Donohue, and I see that another cousin of Nunno's, and this has to be a brother or a cousin of the man who I'm avoiding using any names. Um, a, a cousin or brother of the man who signed his witness on Nunno's immigration papers. Okay, I'll just say his name really was Tony, so his name was Tony. So no, I had never met Tony, and I may have never even heard of Tony. And we go to Donohue, and we meet Tony. He's a man about Nunno's age. And how old was Nunno? Well, Nunno was 63, like 63 years older than I was. Wait a minute. She was 62 years older than I was. So if I was 10 years old then, Nunno was 72. He's my age. That's what when I was visiting Nunno at that time. And he goes up to Donohue. He would have driven up there. And we meet Tony. And Tony lives in a little trailer by a creek that's like in the middle of those dilapidated houses, which were arranged like in a circle, like in a court. When you have a court, like in suburbia, it's around the houses around the court. The court is circular. Well, the houses were like that around. They were arranged in a circle, and in the center was Tony's little trailer, and it was very primitive looking. You know, so Nunno is there conversing with Tony, and Tony's dressed just like Nunno, and they're like army surplus clothing. They had like green work clothes, and like all working folks up in the Vela area, they dressed in those clothes. I guess they got them from army surplus store. I don't know where they got them, but Tony was dressed just like Nunno, and they were talking to each other in Italian. Well, me and my cousin were together, and we were climbing trees, and this girl from Donohue, I think she might have been 8 years old, but I don't know. She might have been 13. I don't know what her age was, but she was looking on. And she was just like looking on at me. She was like, I don't want to use the word staring because that has a negative connotation. She was looking and looking at me like she was fascinated with me. And she was watching me from a distance and trying to talk to me now and then. Okay? Me, not my cousin. And so when we decided we're going to leave there, go back to Nuno's place, and I think we were walking back, unless we'd been out in the woods playing and now we're going to walk back to that trailer. I don't remember now, but this girl was following us like at a distance of like, I don't know, 30 yards or less than that, 20 yards maybe, walking behind us. We're walking, and behind us, 20 yards back, is this girl who's fascinated with me, and she's just following us. Okay? And she likes me. She's trying to talk to me. Well, we go home from that vacation, and later that year, I'm in the room I'm in when that Hispanic medical doctor from Cuba displaces me from my room for a while because he's a Cuban refugee and he needs a place to stay. So he stays in our house and he comes into my room, and I don't even know where I slept now. But I had to leave my room, and I slept with brothers and sisters, I guess. So I was in that room, and I got a letter and addressed to me, written in pencil, and I opened it up. It was from that girl, and what I most remember what was the line. Well, she said that John gave her my address. Now, I was thinking to myself, she called a man who was 72 years old John. And I mean, at the time, I didn't think anything about that. But I'm like yesterday, I thought for the first time, Jews go by their first name. They don't go by their last name. So, is this another indication that my grandfather was Jewish and maybe the girl was too? She's calling a 62-year-old man John, not Mr. Miele. She's not calling him Mr. Miele, which is what I would have called him, right? I didn't call any parents down here in Bethesda where I was living by their first name. And I gotta say that I don't know. I feel very uneasy about saying this, but okay, I won't say a name. I was trying to get in touch with one of my Landon classmates, and he was telling me that this, that, and the other about Landon, and he was mentioning the names of certain teachers by first name, and I might have been on the phone with the guy. I don't remember, but I either wrote to him or said, I never would have, I would never have called these teachers by their first name the way you're doing. To me, it was Mr. Jacoby, not Mac. Mac Jacoby, I wouldn't dare have called him that even now. Anyway, I just said that, and I think the person took that as if like I was being offensive, but I wasn't intended to be. But so it might not be any kind of an indication of Jewishness, but then again, it might be. She's calling us a man who's 72 years old, John. John gave me your address. It's written in the letter, and she says, I think this is an exact quote. I think that we should go staudy. She meant steady, but she spelled it Staudy. Now, once again, I don't think that there's any of that grandfather's grandchildren who would have been involved in something like that with him. This girl up there in Donohue, and Nunno didn't live in Donohue, but I guess he visited Tony a lot. So the girl would have known him, and she talked to him about me, and then Nunno went and gave her my address. So this is all indications of the closeness there was between me and Nunno. This would not have happened with any other grandchild. I can guarantee it. I don't have to ask anybody. So once again, this is another indication of the link between him and me, which supports my view that he was my biological father. Now, let me see if I have anything to add to this. Let me hold on a second. Well, I remember being in bed just like now and looking at that letter and thinking, I wanted to answer that girl. You know, I didn't care that she's misspelled the word steady. I felt, she likes me. Yeah, let's go steady. I didn't know anything about going steady, but she likes me. Okay, I like her. But I said to myself, how can this possibly work? She's all the way up there in Pennsylvania, and I'm here. And I'm like 10 years old. I said, this is not going to work. So I didn't answer a letter, but I felt terrible about it for a long time, even up till now. There have been times in my life where I've said to myself, one of the reasons I haven't been able to meet a woman is because I did the wrong thing to this one who wanted to meet me when I was 10. I didn't answer a letter, and so now I'm being punished. I actually seriously thought that way. I thought I did something wrong back then by not answering her letter. And for that reason, let's call it, I got some bad karma as a result. Although I don't believe in karma, but I'm just trying to communicate. So that's that experience. Every now and again, I think about it. Let me add this footnote. I was saying that I was giving offense possibly where I had no idea or intention that I might be giving offense. And I don't remember suddenly what the exact example was for that in the recording I just made. I don't remember now, but here's what I wanted to say. With another Landon, oh yeah, I was talking to a Landon classmate, and I was telling him quite honestly, I would never have called that teacher by his first name or any of those teachers. To me, it was Mr. Jacoby, Mr. Banfield, and so on. You hear me saying their first names even now. And I think that person took that as an insult of some kind. But it was no insult. I was just telling them honestly. Now, here's another example of when that kind of thing happened. I went to a Landon reunion. It was either the 20th or 25th, something like that. And I'm now past the 50th reunion, so there are no more reunions that I know of. If those guys are still having reunions, they're not going to include me, right? So, and the last official reunion was the 50th, and I'm through that. Okay, but at this reunion, I was talking to this guy who, he's as far as I know, he's Jewish. I'm thinking now, and but that doesn't make any difference to me. You know what I mean? I'm just noticing it. But in real life, if you're Jewish, that doesn't do anything for you with me. Okay, just like when I was in the Catholic world, if you were Catholic, that didn't mean anything to me. It was a fact about you, that's all. But it was like, oh, a Catholic. No. Same thing. A Jew, there are lots of bad Jews. A rabbi said that when I was the first time I tried to convert, what did the rabbi say to us? He said, "Look, there are a lot of bad Jews, and we don't want more." Okay, so I already knew that because I grew up in a Jewish community, and I knew damn well there were bad Jews. I was in fights with one of them, and I didn't start the fights. Okay, so and there were Jews I didn't like. There were bad Jews. Okay, so being Jewish is no big thing for me. So anyway, I just want to make that point. So I'm talking to this guy now. His father became like a millionaire with his business in D.C. He had a parking business. I'm not going to say his name. And so he said to me when he found out where I worked, he said, "Oh yeah, we have the parking uh, in your building there where you worked. We run the parking there." And so innocently, I said to him, "Wow," I said, "I never parked there ever." I said, and he said, "Why is that?" I said, "Because it's too expensive. I would never have parked there." Well, when I said that, this guy's a rich guy, and I guess he's assuming because I was a Landon student too, I was a rich guy too, but I'm not rich. And so I'm saying that the parking there is too expensive and I never used it. This is like an insult to him. It was as if like it slapped him in the face when I looked at him. And I realized he took that as an insult, but I didn't mean. I was just telling him honestly. I can't afford to pay the prices like that, and I never did. In all the years I worked downtown, I never parked in the building. Now, first we lived in a building across from the Washington Post. Okay, I never took my car there while we were there. We moved to a building in Chinatown, and I never took my car there. When I carpooled with another employee, we parked in a lot like a block away from the building because it was cheap. Even that guy who worked where I worked, he wasn't going to park in the building as well. It was too expensive. But I don't know who ran the parking there. But that's another example of I'm just being honest and people take it as an insult. I didn't mean it as an insult at all. Here's another footnote. I've been thinking to myself over and over the fact that you haven't gotten here to meet me, Sayaka, means you're not able to, just like I'm not able to get to you. Somehow, even though you know where I live and everything, and you could come here, you're not able to come. So I figure that there must be some legal reason why you're not showing up here. I'm not blaming you one bit, but here's what I got to say. If there is some legal reason keeping you from coming here, break the law. Okay? Who's ever telling you that is bluffing you. Okay? If you get in trouble for coming to see me, we can deal with that legally. I guarantee it. And nobody's going to be able to accuse you of breaking the law like that. They're bluffing. Break the law and get here, or we're not going to get together. I cannot get to you. You got to come here. Bye for now. Footnote. I think the legal system and the way things are done in the United States these days, I think the players out there are all playing this way. They will break laws and figure, look, let's say we break this law and we're taken to court. Fine, it's worth it. We get taken to court and we'll fix things there. We'll beat that in court. You know what I mean? They take this into consideration. It's like I don't know what it's like. You take a risk of some kind, and you know that everything involved in the risk you're taking, and you include the fact that you might get accused of breaking a law. Well, If you're accused of breaking law, you say, okay, we'll figure that in. We get accused and we beat that too. It's not a problem. Break the law and let's get. If the person doesn't accuse us, we won that. We broke the law and won. If we get accused, we'll go to court and win there. It, this is why, there's no justice in the United States. It's a game. Like Bob Dylan said in that song, justice is a game here. Okay, I want to explain, okay, if I get into a position like this when I'm in the bathtub, that's not because I'm a queer, okay, or want to be a queer. Let me explain this, okay? Have you ever seen a dog who immediately shows submission when you approach it? My Aunt Rosemary, she had a dog like that. As soon as you walked in the door to her house, that dog flipped on its back. That was a sign of submission that dog was making, okay? Now, I've been saying that I've been repeatedly raped while asleep, okay? So that gives me the appearance to a lot of people of somehow being a queer. Now, you just have to accept that this is true about me, okay? I'm telling you from my personal experience that this has happened. Now, what I've found in society is when you give an appearance that way, society then demands from you that you, as if admit that this is true about yourself. So the way I put this in words is I say, society says to you, okay, you're a queer, now show us the queer, okay? And it will not let you budge until you do that. Now, it also does that with these mental diseases, okay? Let's say people are aware that you're a certified schizophrenic, okay? They're going to demand from you, they're going to say, okay, show us the crazy. Show us the crazy, and you're not going to budge until you do something that satisfies them, that they've seen the crazy. Now, that's the best I can do in putting these things in words. So, if I take up a position like this in the bathtub, it's because I've been so beaten down in society over the years that I fall into these submissive acts, not because I'm a queer or I desire to do anything of the kind. I do it because I've been beaten down this way. Now that's the best way I can put this in words. I am in no way a queer, nor have I ever desired to be one. Okay? And Sayaka, if you're seeing this message, I believe you're one among the 8 billion people on the planet who believe what I'm saying right now. Okay? And that's what's important to me. So the message is for you, including this one. Bye for now. I think what I'm saying here is similar to what happens in the movie Children of a Lesser God, right? That teacher, his name is Leeds, I forget his first name, who's dealing with Sarah, the deaf woman he's in love with. He believes that she should be able to talk. This is an assumption he has, okay? That she can talk, okay? Let's say it's an assumption people are making about me. I can move freely through society. There's nothing holding me back, but that's not true, okay? And it's not true that this woman can talk, as he finally finds out. He's screaming at her, okay, come on, now talk.
Now come on. Speak to me. Speak. Speak to me.
Like this, and she attempts to talk, and it sounds like a cat growling, right? She cannot talk. My wife can't either. This guy realizes he's been wrong. Now, All you folks out there who assume that you could be raped while you're asleep like me, and it's not going to have any effect on how you appear, you're wrong. And if you also think that what I'm saying about show me the queer, show me the crazy is not true, walk in my shoes for 5 minutes, okay? You don't want to listen to a word I'm saying, but I'm telling you right now, what I'm saying about this phenomenon is true, okay? People see this on you and they say they want to see it themselves. That's everybody. Everybody out in society, everybody. From the postman to the president, okay? Every single person wants to put you through their review process and they want to be satisfied. Yeah, he's crazy. Or, yeah, he's a queer. Yeah, I saw it. Take it from me. This is the truth about my experience. So what I'm saying is what I just said. Bye for now. Is that you, Chris? And we want justice.